Welcome back to another episode on my channel. In today's episode, we have got the first one in a while. This is the first time in a while we've done one of these. A movie review. Today's movie review is of a new Netflix film that came out just the other day, on Friday morning at 8 o'clock. And it is the sequel to the wonderful cult hit Netflix fave Enola Holmes, and this is the Enola Holmes 2 review with no spoilers, just in case you haven't watched the film before watching this video. So, Enola Holmes 2. The plot of Enola Holmes 2 is fresh off the triumph of solving her first case, Enola Holmes, played by Millie Bobby Brown, follows in the footsteps of her famous brother, Sherlock, played by Henry Cavill, and opens her own agency, only to find that life as a female detective for hire isn't as easy as it seems. Resigned to accepting the cold realities of adulthood, she's about to close shop when a penniless matchstick girl offers Enola her first official job to finding her missing sister. But this case proves to be far more puzzling than expected, as Enola is thrown into a dangerous new world, from London's sinister factories and colourful music halls to the highest echelons of society and 221B Baker Street itself. As the sparks of a deadly conspiracy ignite, Enola must call upon the help of friends and Sherlock himself to unravel her mystery. The game, it seems, has found its feet again. And that is the plot of the film from Netflix. On IMDb. So yeah, that's the plot of the film, and let me say right off the bat, loved it. And the reason why I loved it is I am a fan of when I've seen her in I've watched her in Stranger Things, which is fun. She also made a small cameo as herself in the 15th season of Hell's Kitchen. But I mainly know Millie Bobby Brown from her role as 11 in Stranger Things. Henry Cavill, as everyone knows, is and then we have Henry Cavill, who obviously plays Sherlock Holmes, and Henry Cavill, as everyone should know, is Superman. So, first up we have The Good. Now, why did I like the film so much? You might ask. Because it was just a fun time. But here are the reasons why I enjoyed the film so much. First up, the most important thing is the performance of the lead actress. And yet again, just like in Stranger Things and in Enola Holmes and in the first film, Millie Bobby Brown yet again provides an excellent performance as Enola Holmes. So the good is the performance of Millie Bobby Brown as Enola Holmes. She's exceptional in this film. She can speak. She doesn't have to put on the American accent that she has to put on when playing 11. She can, speak naturally. UK. She can speak English, where she's from. And because of that, her banter is very funny. She doesn't per se carry the film, but she makes the film better. But not only does the heroine impress me so much, two characters who were standouts of the first film get bigger roles in this sequel. And that is Henry Cavill and that is Sherlock Holmes, played by Henry Cavill, and Lord Tewkesbury, Lewis Strong. Sherlock Holmes was barely in the first film, so this second film gives Henry Cavill the chance to show how good of an actor he is. And Lord Tewkesbury was involved in the finale of the first film, and was part of the main plot of the first half of the first film. So he had a slightly bigger role to Henry Cavill, to Sherlock Holmes, but not as big of a role as he has in this film. So that is also a good thing about the film, is the more dominant roles given to both Henry Cavill as Sherlock Holmes and Lewis Strong as Lord Tewkesbury. Now we're going to get into plot details, where I'm not going to spoil the actual what actually happens, but I'm going to give you an idea on what could happen. To enjoy these, you need to watch the film. First up, another good thing about the film is the clever twist. The twist of who ends up, the twist of who ends up being the bad guy is okay, but the way that they blended that, but the way that they hid that plot twist in the story was very good. There's a scene early in the film where you had to pay close attention, because something in that scene will give you a good idea on who will make the clever twist more satisfying. So to make the clever twist for you more satisfying, you need to watch the film. Next up is the action scenes. There's not many action scenes. There's two big action scenes. There's a action scene in the middle of the film, which is a fun one, and there's the finale action scene, which is better than the one that had the action scene in the middle, but still the action. There's hints of action in this film, and the two big ones come later on in the film. The first big action scene comes halfway through the film, and the final big action scene comes at the end. Another good thing about Enola Holmes 2 was the ending was very satisfying. I'm not going to tell you why it was very satisfying, because you'll have to, as I want you to find out that for yourself by watching the sequel. But what I can say is I was very satisfied with the way the film ended. So that's another good thing about the film, is the satisfying ending to the film. This one is a big plot point, and that is, so now this next one is a big plot point, and the next reason why the film is good is the romance between Enola Holmes and Tewkesbury. Enola and Tewkesbury continued. In the first film, we had signs of Enola liking Tewkesbury, but it was never, confirmed that Tewkesbury really did like Enola. But this film just continues the romance between Enola and Tewkesbury, and the way that is paid off at the end is very, very satisfying. The way the romance between Enola and Tewkesbury in this film is paid off at the very end of the film makes me happy. We've talked about how great we've talked about how great Millie Bobby Brown's performance was as Enola Holmes, and we've mentioned obviously Henry Cavill and Lewis Strong having more predominant roles in the film. Well, next up is the performances of the other actors. Like I said earlier on, Henry Cavill shows the actor that he's been for years and years. Lewis Strong showed the potential he has to become a great actor. David Thewlis and Helena Bonham Carter brought a different sort of vibe to the film. The two sisters were fun. The two sisters were fun additions, played by very impressive actresses. And even the side characters that play a small role in the film are well acted. And that just makes, and as long as, if every performance of the actors, if every actor performance in your film is amazing, then you're a great film. And the performance of every actor, besides Millie Bobby Brown, Millie Bobby Brown doesn't carry the film. She makes the film better. And the performances of the other actors just make the film basically incomparable to the first film. And it is slightly better than the first film because of the performances from the other actors and from Millie Bobby Brown. Next up is, now we go on to how Enola and Sherlock's cases intertwine. Now, I'm not going to say much about this, but I liked how the two cases, the case taken on by Enola and the case taken on by Henry Cavill, ended up intertwining, joining together at the very end of the film, and you'll see how well they did that by watching the film. So yeah, that was a good part of the film, how the film able to get Enola and Sherlock's cases to intertwine at the very end of the film, which made the ending so much better than it would have been had there been two separate endings, one for Enola's case and one for Sherlock's case. So that's great. And I've said earlier on about things being paid off at the very end. Every plot point in this film is paid off in the end, one way or another. Somehow, not one way or another. Every plot point in the film is resolved by the end of the film, and that's what makes a film great. If you have lots of plot twists, you want all of them to be resolved by the end of the film, and Enola Holmes 2 does exactly that. The only bad thing for this film is maybe there were too many plot twists. I think there were 3 or 4 plot twists, which I think is a bit too many plot twists for one film, but that doesn't take away from much, because it's still, Enola Holmes 2 is one of the best films I've watched this year. Not the best, because that goes to Top Gun Maverick, but one of the best films I've watched this year. And that is shown by my rating out of 10. Enola Holmes gets a 10 out of 10. And let's just wrap this video up by giving you a final paragraph. I've got one last paragraph that I want to read out, and hopefully you follow this with your ears and with your ears. A mixture of fun and action with an amazing heroine played to perfection by Millie Bobby Brown, and other characters played well by the likes of Henry Cavill and Harry Potter actors David Thewlis and Helena Bonham Carter, as well as a clever plot twist with a surprise villain and a bit of death. Enola Holmes 2 will delight fans of the first film, Millie Bobby Brown, Henry Cavill, or any of the other actors with its quirkiness and enjoyability. With a relationship between Enola and Sherlock at its best, and fans of Enola and Tewkesbury Tewksbury's romance being satisfied. And fans of Enola and Tewksbury's romance will be satisfied. So please watch Enola Holmes 2 for yourself on Netflix, and I think you will love it, as Millie Bobby Brown gives her best performance of her career, in my opinion, and Henry Cavill adds another great performance to his long-standing career. Enola Holmes 2 is currently on Netflix right now. Watch it, enjoy it, and comment on this video once you've watched it. But until next time, I'm out. Peace. Bye.